bringing it to them all day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Baltimore's best sports talk. I am your endearingly stuttering host, Matt Soroka. As always, I'm joined by the button lover, Josh Soroka.
Hey, Matt. You know our little intro video, if you watch us online, ends with the three of us, we include Bert still, sitting in Camden Yards in a completely empty section. The Orioles were ahead of this before the coronavirus.
You could say we were sitting in our own pod.
Yeah, we had pods before pods were cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. You were the first person I ever heard make a joke about our attendance.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. I know. How many jokes have you heard, especially when the governor said 50% and it was, when was the last time the Orioles had 50%?
Yeah, and the great thing about that announcement was everyone made that a joke, and then later they announced that it would be 25%. So half of that, and everyone can make the same joke again. So we had double the opportunity to make the jokes. Yeah, I blocked some people on Twitter this past week. I did. But good for you for making the joke.
Hey, at least the Nashville jokes have gone away.
Yeah, for now. That's good. That's good. But I mean, I just get so mad when people make jokes. Though I made the same jokes when they made the announcement for Tampa Bay. Like, I made the same jokes. But when you make them about the Orioles, I get mad.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's the most obvious joke, but we all did it.
Yeah, but it's 25%. I look at that as a positive. I'll take it. It means fans in the stands. Let's go.
Yeah, any number of fans is great. Now, sure, it's going to be different, but still, it's fans in Camden Yards. That's all we need. Yeah,
and if it's anything like the school system, they're just trying to get a foot in the door. And then it opens it up to whatever to the next thing. You got to start somewhere, and then it quickly escalates. So I anticipate the same with Camden Yards, just how it's worked in the public school system. You get a foot in the door, and then people want more and more and more and more, and it just goes from there.
Is that what happened? Did your school open up more and more and more?
Well, it went from like part-time, like hybrid, half a day, to now it's hybrid full day, and they're talking about bringing even more kids in. So yeah, that it's happening now.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm excited. I definitely will go to Camden Yards baseball games. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm pumped about it.
Reached out to our ticket rep. Hopefully that means we can get into opening day and definitely get into some other games, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. You will find me come April and May. You'll find me hanging out in Baltimore a lot. No doubt about it.
I do wonder, though, how they're going to distribute the pods. Like, are they going to try to move us out of our seats? Because I really like the seats that we have.
We have great seats.
Yeah. So my guess is...
But that section is season ticket holders.
Right.
And season ticket holders get first dibs.
Right.
So you're going to have to move somebody.
Right. They're going to have to move all of us. Because
one person can stay.
Yeah, only one group can stay in that pod.
Yeah. Hopefully it does.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Because, and that's the deal, right? Right now, tickets are only open to season ticket holders, or is that just for opening day?
No, that's through the month of May.
Only season ticket holders. But I would assume if they can't sell out with season ticket holders,
nope,
it will open up to others.
Ticket holders.
So you have to become a season ticket holder.
Yes. And I think it's part of the pod plan, because if they had to figure out different pod layouts for every night, by doing just season ticket holders, they can plan better on the pods.
What's the minimum season ticket plan? It used to be 13 games. But
right now I think it's 15, except they're saying, I think they're selling them in smaller chunks.
And they're front-loaded.
I think you need 4 or 5 in April and May.
Yeah, you got to get a bunch in April and May.
That's what we were told. We were told to get opening day, you had to buy 4 games in April and May, which isn't a problem.
It's no problem.
No,
it's not a problem.
No, I think we've even worked it out where I can come up and attend 4 games in April and May.
Yeah. So if not, I can attend 4 games in April and May.
You definitely can. I mean, a normal year, you were attending at least 4 games in April and May.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
It was very common for us to go opening day and then either opening Saturday or opening Monday.
Oh, absolutely. April is like you're pumped, you're itching to get in there.
Right.
April and still into May a little bit, and then by June,
June is the hard month.
June's the hard month. Well, July you finally get summer, so it's a little easy for me. But July, June's the hard month.
June's the hard month. July you get All-Star break, so it's all broken up.
Oh yeah, that's
July's
true.
normally when you get the West Coast trip, so you kind of are itching and miss Camden Yards.
Yeah.
Then August, September, the cool weather comes back.
Yeah. So then September you got school again.
Right. So
and then the Orioles, you're kind of tired of them at that point anyway.
It's football season.
They're 50 games out of first place.
Ravens.
Yeah. Rutschman still hasn't caught up yet.
Sure. And if you still care about the Orioles in September, then it's awesome. Because the Orioles are playing well. And
and then we are at every game.
Yes. And we've been
then we're at every game. Yeah.
We've hit that 25, 26, 27 games in a season.
Yes.
And then you do the math and you're like, oh, I was there for a quarter of the games. Yeah. And only half the games are at home. So how did I end up there for every other game?
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. So hopefully we're there. Hopefully we're there this year.
Huh?
Hopefully we're there this year in September.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. I think we got Josh. We got an interesting show today. They've got a lot of camp stories. A lot of camp stories to get into. The camp battles are heating up as well. I think some of the camp battles are heating up. I think a lot of the camp battles though are already done with. So we can talk about that too.
I feel like the hottest battles right now are for the bench.
Well, I think and we'll get into it, but I think the outfield is done. But I think the starting pitching is fascinating how that's is turning out. And so we'll get into that today.
Yeah, and we'll get to. I see James asking if Hernandez or Harvey's going to make the roster.
That's really interesting. And
I think that's
breaking news today. And what happened today's game, I think will go a long way in that whole story.
You think?
Oh, I think it's done after today, and we'll get into it.
Really?
I think it's done after today.
See, I don't know because I still think Elias can Elias this up.
Yeah. Well, before we get into all that, Josh.
All right.
This is the moment the people have been waiting for. All right, Josh, get yourself a sweet tea. Go out and Dunkin' Donuts and get yourself a sweet tea and just take it easy for a while.
I'm a Dunkin' Donuts guy, but I'm an unsweet guy.
Oh yeah. I knew that. Go get your unsweet tea at Dunkin' Donuts, your apple fritter. And to take a break and relax.
Man, you know my breakfast.
I'm gonna start
4 days a week.
We've been doing this show for too long together. I'm gonna start at the top left. We have the Gonzaga Bulldogs. This is the West region, top left. It's the annual reading of my bracket. I will go through each round, break it down for you. Won't miss the game. Gonzaga versus Norfolk State or Appalachian State.
Bert, come back. I need you.
Doesn't matter who's gonna win. Gonzaga. Moving on. Again, Gonzaga is my first victor moving on.
Well, come on. That's what you're going to say that 5 times tonight.
Oh, I got some upsets. Going down to my next one on the list. Oklahoma Sooners versus the Missouri Tigers. 8 versus 9, close matchup. Missouri, moving on.
All right, I'm not going to let you do this
Creighton
all night.
Versus UCSB. You're going to have to turn off my mic because I'm going to do the whole thing. I got 5, Creighton, moving on.
You know what's fun?
Virginia versus Iowa.
We're doing this in
Upset alert. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. Upset alert. Doo-doo-doo. Ohio upsets Virginia.
I got an upset for you. All right. Who's your next pick?
US.
Oh, and we seem to lose Matt. I guess we're not going to hear from Matt tonight as I just cut him completely from the stream.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't, dude. You can't cover from the stream.
Uh-huh.
Hey, no, I won't do it. But hey, a couple notes. Josh, Maryland.
Yeah, we got to talk Maryland and we got to talk Liberty. Those are the two I want to hear from.
Okay. I'm excited about the matchup with Maryland with some UConn action. But you know what? Maryland, I think, is a good kind of, what's the word? Is a good kind of snapshot or representation of this whole NCAA year. Because Maryland was terrible at the beginning of the year.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they looked like one of the best teams in the Big Ten, possibly one of the best teams in the nation for about 2 weeks. Their defense looked awesome. And then at the end of the season, they looked bad again. And so they're hard to figure out. And I think that goes – I mean, this is going to be an insane tournament. I think anything can go. It's been a weird year.
How far do you have Maryland going?
Well, to be honest, I haven't officially fulfilled on my bracket yet.
You can't. How can you come in for the reading of your brackets and not have your bracket filled
I was
out?
just reading random names and just saying whatever right now. No, I haven't had a chance to – I'm mad because my printer here is not working, and I didn't print it at work. And so I got to print it tomorrow and fill it in.
Just download the little CBS March Madness app.
Oh, am I doing my phone?
Click.
No, it's too small on my phone. I can't do that.
No,
maybe
I do it
the
on my iPad.
I might try. But I can't print it off like that.
Huh?
I can't print it off. I need to print it off.
Why do you need to print it off if you?
Because you got to highlight the winners. How can I highlight the winners if you can't print it off?
It'll do it automatically.
Oh, that's lame. That takes all the fun out of it.
It does a little.
But no, I like the UConn matchup. Man, I don't know that much about UConn. I don't know that much about any of these teams, to be honest.
No, and the thing is, it was a weird year for all these teams.
Yeah. So anything could happen. So it's possible. I could totally see Maryland going to the Sweet 16. I think that's very possible. Though they're
because I just showed you my bracket.
Oh, really?
I've got them going to the 16.
Though I've seen Alabama play a few times, and that team can score. I like Alabama a lot too.
I've got them upset in Alabama though.
Yeah, well, they got when their defense is on point, they can do it. And that's the thing. Like defense comes every day. So
Alabama's definitely put up more points on the board, but the defense is the standout there.
Yeah, and going over to the Midwest, Liberty, rocking my Liberty shirt today in support. I got Orioles and Liberty rocking here. They're a 13th seed, which is not bad for Liberty playing in a small conference to get a 13th seed. That's pretty impressive. But they had a good little run a couple years ago where they made it past the first round, which is fun. And so they're going up against Oklahoma State. I'm telling you, Oklahoma State, when they saw this, they were mad because Liberty had a couple years ago had the upset in the first round. They're 23-5 this year, just a good squad. And so I would not want to play them in the first round. And so, yeah, I'm predicting Liberty to knock off Oklahoma State.
I've got Liberty.
And I'm a homer. I got them going all the way to the Sweet 16, baby.
So do I.
Because I'm a homer. But
because I've got them playing Tennessee afterwards. And when you look at their spreads, it's they're very similar to Tennessee. So I went ahead and put them beating Tennessee and getting into the 16.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard, right? Because they're 23-5, but they spent the last 2 months playing the Atlantic Sun, the conferences. So they're not great teams,
right?
That they're playing day in and day out. But I mean, it's you play who you got, and they recruit some big time guys. So it's not so I think they're not like the 16th seed who is a fluke to get in. I mean, Liberty is good every single year. They recruit big time talent. So
who's better, Liberty or Georgetown?
Oh, that's interesting, right? Because Georgetown, worst record, but plays in a bigger conference. Right. Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
I would take my money on Liberty against Georgetown, but I haven't. I know Georgetown had so much drama. I feel like at the beginning of the year with losing some players and stuff. I didn't really follow it all, but I remember they had a lot of drama this year.
When's this starts Thursday, right?
Is it Thursday or Friday this year?
I don't know. I was looking.
It usually starts on Thursday.
Right. Let's see. 3/19. When's 3/19? Let's see. 16.
That's Friday.
That is. That's Friday. But there must be a play. Is there not a 65th team?
Oh, there's a bunch of playing games.
All right. Then maybe the playing games might be on Thursday because I don't have any. I don't see any play-ins in my bracket.
Oh yeah. The first four are on Thursday.
All right. There we go.
Yeah, that's it. You got your Texas Southern versus your Mount St. Mary's. You got your Appalachian State versus your Norfolk State.
All right.
I got to make sure I can get all these stations: CBS, True TV, TBS.
You just download that March Madness app. It gets you them all, I believe. Like the CBS March Madness app, the blue icon, you'll get them all in there
for free.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I'll check it out. All right, check it out.
I don't know. I don't remember ever having a March Madness game that I couldn't watch.
Yeah, I know. Every year I'm able to watch them all. I don't remember how I do it though. Every year.
I don't know how they do that and why it's not like I wish the NFL would get their act together and do that.
Yeah, it always makes me laugh though that there's games on True TV.
Right. Hey, it's probably the only thing true on True TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad just having brackets out and some March Madness, it's like some normalcy.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped for it. I'm pumped to Friday. I got to get these watching games now with these two small kids. I got to get them out of my hair, but I'm pumped all day Friday to watch all these games. I mean, I'll be at work for the early games, but mentally checked out.
Yeah.
Watching these games on my laptop or computer. That's the cool thing about virtual teaching. I can have on one computer screen my classroom and the other the basketball game.
Right. Yeah, that's the nice thing about
teaching
working from home with my own office too.
Yeah.
Is this past week they've there's been a lot of commemorating the start of the lockdown a year ago. So a lot of podcasts I listen to have gone back and hey, let's check out our episode from a year ago and what we were saying about the virus.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with that on Section 336. I am not going to pull any audio from our discussion a year ago.
Why? Because you don't want to sound like an idiot?
Because I'm pretty sure we both sounded like idiots.
Yeah.
And I think I would just leave that alone.
I don't know. I feel like we had a really good show with Charlie at the beginning of the pandemic.
We did a really good show. How we talked.
So listen to that one.
How it was going to end after 2-3 weeks.
I don't know. We never said that. Get out of here.
I don't. All right. Maybe I'll pull it next week. I'll go check.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have Charlie back and say, "Hey, Charlie, remember when you said this?"
Yeah, but I don't think
probably the smartest one on the podcast.
But I don't think anyone. I don't know. That's weird. The podcast are doing that because I don't think anybody wants to. I mean, who wants to relive and reminisce on the past year? Let's focus. If there's any time in history where you want to focus on the future, now is that time.
Especially now when we've got March Madness starting this week. We've got spring training going on now.
Yeah,
we've got the NFL trades and
the free agency period just started.
Opens up this week. All this stuff coming out.
Yeah, NBA is NBA
opening day in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's getting close. All right, so let's get into the Orioles.
Oh yeah, they're doing some stuff down in Sarasota.
They are
some camp.
They are. Let's start with let's ease into it. Starts with some injury updates.
All right, Chris Davis.
Okay, yeah.
Back. Probably going to go to the IL.
You think so?
Yeah.
Josh,
going to start on the IL.
Isn't this whole thing a little bit weird?
What's the thing?
He took one swing, and he has a sore back. It's not like two swings, and it's just like a sore back. It's not like he pulled something or tore. It's just a sore back.
He's seeing a specialist.
Yeah, isn't that a little bit weird though?
He may have to retire from baseball altogether because of this injury, and you're making light of it.
Are you serious? Have you read that report?
Injury.
Have you heard that?
I'm just trying to predict what the next step is.
Oh, but I mean, I just think it's odd, right? That a sore back after two swings would keep you out for this long.
Yeah. How old is Chris Davis?
And from day one, it was like it's day to day. So you thought maybe he could be back in a couple of days, but then it's just gone on forever and ever.
Well, it's only been lower back strain, and
it's just a little odd to me. But Chris Davis.
It's hard to say how long a back injury can linger.
It's hard, yeah. I'm sure. But
that's how I feel about any injury, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Especially when you get to be our age.
And he's 34 years old.
Right.
I am 41 years old.
Right.
I have back pain all the time.
Right.
I have a knee right now that hurts whenever I walk up and down stairs. But I still go out and play softball because I enjoy it. It's fun. Chris Davis has a little back
injury. You're questioning his toughness, are you, Josh?
It's not a toughness. It's
his love.
Here's where we are in life.
His heart.
He has a small back injury. He's played baseball his whole life. He can rest his back and do nothing and sit there and play his new PlayStation and still get paid millions and millions of dollars. I don't think he's got the motivation to really get out there and do it.
Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, I would never question someone's heart or motivation, Josh, like you just did. But it is odd. I find it odd.
I'm just saying, a lot of people fight through this stuff. It's called, you take some Advil and you go at it.
Yeah, well, I agree. It's odd. And every day. But this is like a dream scenario for manager Hyde. He's like saying, man, I hope Chris Davis gets back. That's what he's saying to the media. And then at home, he's throwing a little party that Chris Davis is opening up a roster spot for manager Hyde. Well, every day he doesn't play in spring training makes it more likely that at the very least he'll get some sort of extended spring training, so he won't make the trip up to Baltimore for the opening day roster
or something. Yeah.
Right. So you could see a scenario where he spends an extra 2 weeks in Sarasota, then goes to the alternate site to continue to get ready to play, and then gets back in Baltimore. But again, there's no time frame because it was day to day from the day it happened. So who knows what that means?
Right. Of course. It's always day to day.
But it's looking like manager Hyde's going to have that. We thought he would not. We thought that Chris Davis would have a roster spot, but now it looks like he won't. So that's a surprise.
Right.
Other injuries, DJ Stewart, hamstring issue, been bothering him for about a week.
Yeah, makes the outfield a little more predictable.
Yep. So I think any type of injury, and it seems to be a minor injury, but it's enough that it's kept him out for a week at this point. And it's enough that I think it's going to make it so he'll be at the alternate site. I think it's more and more likely each day that he's going to end up at the alternate site. And so I think the outfield is pretty much done. I think we know who the outfield is.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit. Another injury is Hunter Harvey.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Sprain oblique.
That's the big one.
And again, a thing that he won't make opening day. The question is, does he go in the 10-day DL, 30-day DL? What do they do with him?
Yeah. I know. And so the injury is listed on ESPN at least as out indefinitely with a left oblique strain. And so, we could be looking at, I've heard people speculate like 5 weeks or something. But it's kind of like the back. You kind of it's a hard thing. You just got to wait for it to heal. And obviously the oblique is a very important muscle in pitching. And so like on the one hand, we're grateful it's not the arm. On the other hand, like Hunter Harvey, like, dude, stop getting injured, right? Like it's always something with Hunter Harvey. And so you don't knock a guy because you really can't help it. Like it's not like Hunter Harvey's fault that he gets hurt all the time.
Right.
But some people, I mean, you go back, you think of guys like Nolan Reinbold, right? Who just couldn't get healthy, and he had all the talent in the world, but you got to stay healthy.
And that's the thing. Hunter Harvey was supposed to be in the rotation. He was well before now. He was supposed to be an arm in our rotation, and health has always been his issue.
Yeah, and
it amazes me that guys can play their entire baseball career, get to this point, and not stay healthy.
Yeah, and it's not like the same thing, right? Like it's just different things. It's almost like, and Austin Hayes too was as recently has been that kind of same boat where it's always something. Like it's just something It's not the same thing. It's a different thing every time. It's like weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like we need robot players.
But you look up at Hunter Harvey and you're like, you think of him as this young starter, and then you moved into the bullpen with this electric arm. But I still think of Hunter Harvey as a prospect, right? And then you look at his age and he's like 26 now. Like Hunter Harvey's 26.
Right.
And if this year's injury ridden, like if this is a sign for things to come, next year he's 27. He's like, he's not a young player anymore.
No, he's got to work it out. It sucks.
Yeah. So you hope, I mean, we just hope, because for the Orioles, he's such a weapon for his own career. And then selfishly for the Orioles, he's just such a weapon at the back end of your bullpen. And so it's a blow that Hunter Harvey can't make the opening day roster because of injury. Someone else is going to take a spot, which is a good opportunity for someone else. But whoever takes his spot is not going to be as good as Hunter Harvey. So it's unfortunate.
Yep. It sucks. Nothing good.
All right. That's all I got on the injury front.
Yep. That's correct. How about on the free agent front?
Okay.
Maikel
Franco, yeah. Maikel Franco.
Michael.
Right. There's been an interesting debate, Maikel Franco over Rio Ruiz as a third baseman. And there's just been this debate. Josh, have you paid any attention to this debate?
Yeah, it's an interesting debate because the numbers are very similar between the guys. In fact, Rio Ruiz at the plate numbers are a little bit better.
No, I think of the opposite. I think, and it depends, right, what year you look at, but I think Maikel Franco, year in and year out, has put up better offensive numbers than Rio Ruiz.
Right. The other thing that I thought was weird is there was lots of talk about Maikel Franco like his defense getting better, and then he'll be better than Rio Ruiz. But Rio is younger. Rio's 26, and Mikel is 28. So I found it strange to try to replace him with an older person, but still say, oh, he's working on whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it was Utah Street Report today had two good articles. One by my boy Danny about why Miguel Franco is a bad signing, and another one, a counterpoint, saying why it was a good signing. And Danny's whole point wasn't on the Utah Street Report article, and you can check it out on there, but his whole point was, like, if we're trying to develop young pitching, our top priority should be providing a good defense behind them.
Yes.
And if Franco makes our defense worse, what are we doing? Like, why? And it's not a big upgrade offensively, if anything. And he argued, actually, that it would be, if anything, a downgrade. But I think a lot of people argue that it'd be an upgrade offensively. But even an upgrade offensively would be a minor upgrade offensively.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking. The numbers show a minor upgrade.
Right. I mean, last year, he batted .278, right? Hit 8 home runs. In his best year in 2018, he batted .270 with 22 home runs. So, I mean, those are pretty good offensive numbers, but the defense might be a little bit worse.
Yeah,
but I don't know. So what's your take?
My take?
Yeah. What's your take on this? Rio Ruiz or Franco?
It's about who can Elias flip. And I don't think Elias cares about developing young pitchers because he's going to try to keep his young pitchers out of the major leagues this year. And I think it's about who can he flip in July and get another draft pick or minor leaguer or something. And I think he has a better shot to flip Franco with the bat than Ruiz with better defense.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I like Franco better. I mean, I've seen mostly just because Franco's a new face, and we see this. We see this. What about it? Does Franco have Ruiz's hair?
Ruiz's hair. Everybody loves his hair.
Yeah, but we see this with Mike Elias, where. And this is going to be a whole new infield compared to last year, right? And we talk about the infield, but the infield starting last year, it's going to be completely different this year. Every position, a new guy. But Elias's move is, if he doesn't have the young player ready yet, his move is to go out and get a veteran for. I mean, he did at shortstop. We see him doing it at starting pitcher.
Yep.
The young players aren't ready yet, so we're just going to have a stopgap here for a year.
Well, or they're ready and we're not ready. If we're not ready, let's have a stopgap. You know, Adley might be ready, but we're not ready for Adley.
Right. So Franco, it seems like that 1 year stopgap guy. Yeah. And I mean, and the defense, this brings up like an interesting debate as far as how much defense matters. Because I've tried to buy the argument that it's going to hurt our pitching development, but I don't think it's going to hurt our pitching development. We might give up a couple more runs because Franco's at third and not Ruiz? Maybe, but I don't think it's going to make a big difference. Danny in the article was saying like it would force our pitchers to throw more pitches. And I don't really buy that. I mean, Mike Manager Hyde will pull the pitcher after he throws 100 pitches anyway. It's not going to he's going to keep him out there. So I don't really buy that argument. And ideally, do you want a great defense behind you? Yes, but like you make sacrifices for offense all the time. Like Ryan Mountcastle isn't the best defensive left fielder we could get, but he's the best left fielder we have if you combine his offense and his defense. And especially now with the shifting and getting smarter positioning players, I almost think like it's easier to be a bad defensive player because the shifting and stuff make up for some of that stuff.
In the right spot.
Yeah, so I think all that, and again, we don't know how much defense really matters compared to offensive production. And again, if he's a little bit worse at defense than Ruiz, like what does that mean? In terms of pitching development or in terms of giving up runs, I don't know if it means a whole lot as much as other people might think it means. And so I like it. And I think Franco does have, I mean, you have no one in the minors like Rylan Banning. He's been fine, but I think Mike Elias has penciled him in for Norfolk every day. I don't think he's ready for him.
And he hasn't been great in spring training, so he hasn't forced his way out. So he's definitely not going to get in the call.
Yeah, and you want to give him the opportunity to play every day. And it seems like at Norfolk he'll be able to play every day, and he won it here in the majors. And so maybe he is. Like maybe next year he can be that guy. Maybe halfway through the season he can be that guy. But we've seen enough of Ruiz. And I think Mike Elias, this is Mike Elias saying, I've seen enough of Ruiz to the point where I can take an average third baseman, and I'd rather, because Franco's average, but he's saying I'd rather have an average third baseman than Ruiz in there. Yeah, I tend to agree with him.
I think Ruiz gets cut, like DFA'd.
Yeah, I mean, if Franco
he sticks around,
when Franco signs, and it hasn't been made official yet, right?
No, not yet.
But Ruiz has only played third base, right? He's not like a utility guy,
right?
So it's an interesting question, right? Like, what happens if they sign Franco? What happens to Ruiz? Does he even stay around? And 26, people say like, well, he's younger, but he's 26, right? He's not like a prospect anymore. He's been in the majors for the past couple years. You kind of know what he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how 26, yeah, you know what they are. But then we have other guys who are like 26, he's young. But yeah, Ruiz is what he is.
Yeah, I mean, he made his MLB debut at 22, right? So he's been around the league for a while. And his best offensive year, I'm just trying to look at it, his best offensive year, last year, he batted 232.
Yeah, nothing.
He has this is his career batting average is 220. Right? Like, what are we talking about here?
So, like, last year was his career year. Yeah.
People are mad that we're getting Franco to replace the guy whose career batting average is 220.
Right. And I think that's what Elias sees is Ruiz isn't going anywhere. He's not the future with his organization. This other guy might not be either, but he's better this year.
Yeah, he's better this year. And so this is state of the franchise, Josh. If we're being cheap, we don't sign Franco. We just go with Ruiz.
Right.
But Elias wants to get this team better. And whether it's being more competitive this year or the old flip, either way,
it's a step up.
Franco's a step up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah. State of the art Orioles is up.
Yeah, and I hope
going up.
I hope opening day that Franco is the starting third baseman. I do.
It would be nice.
Yeah. Josh, I turned on the radio on my way home from work. I turned on the radio.
Yeah.
Tyler Nevin had just gotten on first base. And I think that I'm missing one guy, but then Ryan McKenna was up, had 2 strikes on him, and got a single. Or no, he got a double. And then there was runners, and then McKenna was on second, Nevin was on third, and Gunnar Henderson came up, got behind 0-2, and then hit a single up the middle. And so when I was on the radio driving home, I heard Tyler Nevin get a single, Ryan McKenna get a double, and Gunnar Henderson get a single to drive both runners in. I felt like I was listening to 2023 World Series team in that little drive home. Right, that was pretty cool. It's fun for me.
Listening to like the Frederick Keys broadcast or something. No, those are all guys. Gunnar Henderson, I didn't even realize that he was getting the call up into big league camp because I think he's been at minor league camp.
Yeah, I don't know if this was just need an extra body or something.
So I think they just brought him up for this. But anyway, I was excited to see him get a couple hits.
Yeah, and our offense exploded today. We had some home runs. We had 3 home runs today, so it's good offensive day for us. It was
nice to see the offense go. Also, we learned some stuff about the pitching today.
Yeah. So I think, and we can talk about interesting matchups, Josh, still in spring training. You want to get into the start and rotation matchup here?
I want to talk start and rotation. Because everyone made the joke when Mike Elias gave up his home run on like pitch number 3.
Matt Harvey.
Yeah, well, who did I say?
Mike Elias. That would be weird.
That would have been bad. But after that, Matt Harvey settled down, and he pitched 4 innings today.
Yep. Gave up a couple runs, but pitched pretty well.
I'm ready to say that Matt Harvey's going to end up in this rotation. You agree or disagree?
No, I think there's one quote. I read one quote, and the quote said, to me, I read the quote, and all I heard in my head is, he's going to be in the starting rotation.
Okay. Who was the quote by?
Manager Hyde.
All right. What did Manager Hyde have to say?
I read this quote, Josh, and I don't know, like Matt Harvey, even when I saw a stat line, I was like, I don't know. Because there's a lot of guys fighting for roster rotation. And some guys pitching really well.
All right. Here's why I say he's in.
Yeah.
because he was serviceable. And we're not looking for good pitchers. We're looking for reasons that we don't have to bring young guys up yet.
But Josh,
people who can get through innings.
But Josh, I could give you 4 names who can do that. Who can fit that description?
Great, but you need 5.
Oh, in that case, Josh, I can give you 8.
All right. Well, hold on. Tell me this quote, then I'll have you give me your 8 that you think would be better. All
right. Here's the quote. Not that better, but that fit that description of serviceable. Here's the quote by Matt Harvey. Yeah. I mean, this is a quote by Manager Hyde. He said this. And tell me if this doesn't mean he's on the team. He said, I thought Matt threw the ball great. Fastball, this is Hyde talking. Fastball, 94 to 95 miles per hour. A lot of 95s. I think up to 96. Fastball had a ton of life to it.
All right, Matt Harvey's in.
Yeah, you're not getting rid of Matt Harvey, who's had so much past success, who now has a 96 mile per hour fastball with a ton of life to it.
Right. No,
that guy's not getting cut.
No.
He's on.
Yeah, Matt Harvey's in.
Yeah, because it's not about even the stat line; it's about the stuff, right? Yes. And he said this, and Hyde went on to say that when he was hit, it was with his kind of breaking balls. He wasn't locating his breaking balls, but he said his fastball was on point today.
Right, and that's all you want from Matt Harvey is that fastball.
Well, yeah.
Does this put the pressure on Felix Hernandez for tomorrow's start?
Well, Josh, at the beginning of the season, let's think about this for a second. At the beginning of the offseason, you go through a rotation. Let's count them. John Means.
Yep.
Number 1. Keegan Aiken. I think last year he earned a spot, right?
Yeah.
And this spring training he's been playing well.
Yeah, he'll be in.
Dean Kramer.
I think Dean Kramer might be the guy that they say, hey, I know he's looked great in the spring, but we're not ready for him.
Well, not only did they look great in the spring, he looked great at the end of last year. In the time he was caught up, he was really good.
Right, but they only brought him up in September, right? Or the end of the season. Like,
I think it might have been August.
Service time? Like, did his service clock turn on yet?
Yeah, I think so.
His service clock is on?
Well, it doesn't matter, Josh. Nobody cares about Dean Kramer's service clock. He's already in his mid-20s.
All right, fine. So then I'm going to put Kramer in the rotation then.
All right, Wade LeBlanc.
Is Wade LeBlanc still an Oriole?
Yes.
Yeah, I know he is. I know.
And he's that veteran, serviceable guy you're talking about.
Yeah, he is.
That's 4. And you add Matt Harvey, that's 5.
Right.
Okay, well, who am I leaving off? I'm leaving off Felix Hernandez. I'm leaving off a guy the Orioles might love more than all those guys, Jorge Lopez, who's pitched well, and the Orioles teams seem to love him.
Yeah.
Oh, and I didn't even mention the guy who's pitched better than anyone in spring training, Bruce Zimmerman.
Right.
Who's thrown the most innings so far, 9, and hasn't given up a single run yet.
Yeah.
So, Josh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys right there.
Yep.
What's going to happen?
Well, I'm going to say John Means is in. Matt Harvey's in. Keegan Aiken's in. Bruce Zimmerman's in. Wade LeBlanc is in. And we are going to rotate through Kramer and Lopez in that 6th slot, mixed with the Bowie site, assuming Felix Hernandez doesn't make this team. If Felix makes this team, then Jorge and Kramer are going to be stuck in the alt site. How are you breaking this down?
I think it's interesting. I think it's really tricky.
It's really interesting because it's a team really with no pitchers.
Right. And I mean, one of the guys that really throws a ratchet into it is no one had Bruce Zimmerman in the starting 5 to start the year, but he's been so good in the minors. I mean, he's been so good in spring training,
right? That
he's making a case for it.
So do you put him in the pen instead?
Yeah, I mean, the question, I think the 2 guys for me that I'm like, why are you here is Wade LeBlanc and Felix Hernandez. Uh-huh. And Felix Hernandez, I think, is a cool story, but he was thrown mid-80s. He hasn't looked good in spring.
But if Mike Elias was creating this rotation, it would be Wade LeBlanc, Matt Harvey, and Felix Hernandez.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think that he likes Wade LeBlanc because he's a guy that possibly could pitch well and you could trade him.
Yeah.
Certainly true with Matt Harvey, too.
Yeah, that's why you're praising Matt Harvey's fastball.
Yeah. I have a hard time envisioning being able to flip Felix Hernandez, but who knows? Like, who knows? You know? Like, maybe he'll find some magic. He said himself he's not worried about how fast he throws, just getting outs. I buy that. I'd rather have a guy get outs than throw 100 miles per hour.
Except he's a pitcher who defined himself by throwing the fastball.
Right. And, like there's not many
a knuckleballer.
There's not many successful pitchers outside of knuckleballers, and there's not many successful knuckleballers. Right. There's not many successful pitchers throwing mid-80s in their fastball. Like, there's just not many of those guys.
Correct.
Cesar Valdez, how fast is his fastball? His fastball is probably close to that, but
I don't know.
He's the exception.
But you're right. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something. I mean, we're halfway through spring training. I mean, injuries might happen, right? We have half spring training for someone to get a blister or something and not be able to make the opening day roster. So that is very possible. But there's 8. There's 8 legitimate guys you could pencil in as starter.
Yeah, and if you're going off quality starts or quality pitching in spring training, then it's Bruce Zimmerman, Dean Kramer, Matt Harvey, John Means, and probably Keegan Aiken. That's your 5 if you're going off spring training numbers.
Yeah. But again, the sample size, not only sample size tiny, it's not
it's also
it's not the same, right? Like Felix,
you can't judge anything based off an ERA in spring training.
Right. I mean, Felix has only thrown 4 innings so far. So you're comparing Felix who throws 4 innings with Zimmerman, who's thrown twice the amount of innings, 9.
Yes.
And we're penciling Zimmerman in because he's thrown 9 really good innings.
Right.
But again, it's 9 innings.
Well, it's like you said with Matt Harvey. The fastball was working, this and this. At no point was it he only gave up 1 home run or whatever. You know, it wasn't. No one cares about your ERA in spring training. It's about what you're doing as a pitcher.
Yeah. The quote that makes you think he's going to be in the starting rotation is not the stat line. It's the miles per hour and life on his fastball. And that's unfortunately what we can't see even today. Like we just heard the radio, we can't see it.
Right.
So we have to wait for Manager Hyde quotes.
Agreed.
But I mean, this is going to be. I mean, we still have a couple weeks left, right? Pitchers, this is the time. I mean, this is the best time of spring training because pitchers are being stretched out, so they're starting to pitch. 2, 3, 4 innings now. They're up to like 4 innings now, going into 5 innings, and so they're stretching out, and so you get more opportunity to see them pitch, more data on how their stuff plays, and so this next 2 weeks is going to determine who's going to be our 5 starters. I mean, because I think the only person you could pencil in, no doubt, if he's healthy, is John Means. Like he's the only no doubter.
Yeah.
Anybody else, if they implode the rest of the spring training, like they could be out because there's other guys who take their spots.
Right. This week, if you're watching on the MLB app, tomorrow's game against the Rays and Friday's game against the Pirates are on their little TV.
All right,
watch them in the app.
They massing?
No, they're not massing.
Josh, Masson said they would come up with 4 games. When are those 4 games happening?
They said late February.
Late February?
Second half of February. Or March. Second half of March.
Okay.
Which according to
we're in the second half of March.
We're in the second half of March. But they haven't announced anything yet. All I know is that Birdland Tonight is each Thursday night and ready for opening day.
There you go. Well said.
Masson drops the ball, we'll pick it up.
Well said. As far as I mentioned it quickly, but I think the outfield, Josh, is, I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but I think the outfield's kind of done.
Yeah, I mean.
You eliminate DJ Stewart.
Yeah, it's Mountcastle, Santander, Hayes, Mullins.
Yep.
That's your outfield plus bench.
Yep. So the guys that are still at spring training who are not going to make the team, you use Neil Diaz, who has struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
And Ryan McKenna, who had a nice double today, but he's still young. I think they want him to play every day at Norfolk at center field. And so I think it's going to be a good outfield at Norfolk when you have Ryan McKenna and Neil Diaz and whoever else you got out there, DJ Stewart or someone. So I think the outfield's done.
All right. A little outside of Birdland did it hit you to see Nick Markakis retire?
Oh yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it did.
I mean, I think it hit us all. I mean, I think we all wish he never went to Atlanta and that he finished his career in Baltimore. And I don't think there's any Oriole fan that didn't root for Nick Markakis.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's absolutely true. He's so likable. When I think about Orioles outfield at Camden Yards, I think about 2110, right?
Yeah.
I think about Adam Jones, Nick Markakis, holding down center and right for so many years. In some ways, they're kind of the exact opposite of each other, but in a lot of ways, kind of just loyal, good ball players.
A lot of respect for each other.
Yeah, good, loyal, consistent,
and
baseball players. Yeah,
right. And guys that were here before the team got good.
Yeah, and saw some
success together with this team, and they really got to see the city of Baltimore, and I think the fans attached to that roster so much, and those two guys got to see it when it was struggling, and you had to bring out the 2110 promotions to get people to sit out into those bleachers, and then to see just the packed crowds of playoff baseball in Baltimore was special for them.
Yeah, it's really true, right? And that's why they're special for us too, right? Because
totally.
When they got here, I mean, I still remember Nick Markakis as a rookie, and he was batting 220, but he was fouling off 10 pitches at bat. You just knew, like, this guy knew how to hit.
Yep.
And he was, we were terrible, but then we also, I mean, Adam Jones alongside that brought up in the Eric Bedard trade. And when they got here, it was dark ages, but them and combined with Buck Showalter, brought back good times to Baltimore again, and they were key parts of that. And so, we remember teams more that win, and we saw some winning teams with Nick Markakis in the outfield. Unfortunate how it ended as far as not re-signing him and going to the Braves, but doesn't take anything away from his contributions to Baltimore. Mad respect for Nick Markakis. Nothing but love.
Of course. We already covered kind of fans back at Camden Yards. We kicked off the show with that. So I think there's nothing really else to say about that, except that we're excited to have fans back.
Yeah, it's a good thing that fans are coming back.
Yeah. Is there any other news I missed this week?
No, I got to the notes I want to get to. Maikel Franco and Matt Harvey's out today. I think is big stories. I think the starting rotation is going to be fun to watch going forward. I think all the other kind of battles are pretty much settled. I guess maybe a utility guy in there. Can Stevie Wilkerson squeak in or something? But for the most part, I think it's...
The question is, those last two bench spots, I think, are still hanging out there.
Yeah, and that, I mean, honestly, that interests me very little. I think there could be a lot of rotation there too, right? Like, if Stevie Wilkerson doesn't get the job done and someone's playing really well,
then they'll flip it with the alt site.
Yeah, and then they'll flip it. Or, I mean, Norfolk is going to be started before you know it. The minor leagues are starting. I mean, it's just a month late, so a little bit later, but they'll be starting soon. And then, I think you'll see some changes happen as well.
Norfolk starts their season in Jacksonville.
That's cool.
First week in May, they're down here.
That's cool.
So tickets haven't gone on sale yet. I was looking the other day.
Yeah.
So, but that'll be fun to go see whoever's there.
Yeah, I saw even here the minor leagues released their schedules, but no tickets for sale yet, as far as I can tell.
Did they announce, is Adley going to Bowie?
I think last year he ended the season with Delmarva, I believe.
Right. So they wouldn't jump him straight to Norfolk, right?
It would be very surprising if they did.
Right.
Though, I mean, he's getting a lot of at-bats in spring training, so I
haven't seen Adley yet. I'm hoping he'll go to Norfolk so I can see him. Yeah,
I assume he'll go to the alternate site, right?
Not necessarily. Why would you move him to the alternate site if you weren't going to call him up to the majors? Why wouldn't you leave him in Sarasota for like an extended spring?
I guess so. I mean, it's assume you want him playing with the big boys.
Yeah, I guess. I could see that. You're right.
And you need catchers.
Right. Need catchers.
Need someone to catch the ball. You just can't have one guy up there catching all the balls.
Yeah, we had a friend that stuck around the Orioles organization for a while because you need catchers.
You need someone to catch the ball. Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Ready for some ball four?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. I took your suggestion on ball four last week. We still need a sounder for ball four. I got to create that.
Pew, pew, pew.
I took your suggestion. I don't think I have pew, pew, pew here.
Okay.
Took your suggestion, and I read Concrete Rose.
Oh, yes.
So I know you got good feedback on your book report time.
Yeah. So what did you think of it?
I enjoyed Concrete Rose. I think it ended like a few chapters earlier than I would like it to. I think I wanted to see more progression in Maverick's life.
Yeah, I thought there would be more to there too. I thought there would be.
Right,
Yeah, I thought there'd be more.
Like I thought where it ended was going to be like the middle of the book.
Right. But that's interesting criticism, right? Because usually my criticism, this book goes on too long, but this is it wasn't long enough.
Right. Well, that'll be next. That'll be for my ball for next week because of that new Justice League movie that comes out this week is apparently 4 hours long.
Oh, is it? See, that's
so next week I'll be telling you that something's too long.
Yeah, I'm watching that over the course of 2 weeks.
All right. So yeah,
I just love the idea in Concrete Roads of this guy being part of a gang, but then I thought her description of having a newborn was pretty spot on. Dealing with a newborn while also trying to, be in a gang just makes me laugh. Dealing with all the everyday normal things like babies throwing up on you. And maybe it's because I recently experienced that, but I thought that was pretty spot on. And
I liked it because I know those kids that worry about getting their shoes dirty, keeping their kicks white.
Yeah,
and I like the idea of baby vomit.
Whether your style and clothes are so important to you.
Yeah, and suddenly the baby's messing all that up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoy that. I wonder if there's going to be a second book, that comes right after this, that fits between Concrete Rose and The Hate You Give.
Right, because his story has not been fully told. Yeah.
Right, exactly. There's lots of story because it ends too early. I'm trying to not give away, but I think it's pretty obvious if you've read the other books where this book would end makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, but my ball one, I'm going with a TV and a movie.
I thought Concrete Rose was the ball one. That was just a follow-up on my ball?
That was just a follow-up for your ball.
All right.
I'm just checking in on your balls.
All right.
That was your ball from last week.
Appreciate it.
My ball one is I watched the Netflix movie I Care a Lot, which is about a lady who takes care of old people.
Oh, I watched that too.
Did you? All right.
Yes.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
It was weird.
It was weird and way more violent than I expected. But I enjoyed it a lot.
The wife and I were looking for a movie, and I guess when we went on it, it won some awards. So, this one, or someone was nominated for an award or something.
I don't know. I just saw it, and I was like, it looks interesting.
And that main girl has been in, what was she? And she was in that mysterious...
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl,
or
yeah.
On the Train, one of those.
Yeah. I think that's the same movie.
That's two different movies.
I thought Gone Girl involves a subway train. Is that not true?
Gone Girl...
Doesn't the subway train prominent thing in that movie?
No,
maybe
that's
not.
Girl on the Train.
Oh, that's Girl on the Train?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Those two movies, I read both those books, too, before I saw the movies.
Anyway,
they blend together.
We thought she was a good actress. So, but yeah, so you liked it?
I did. Did you like it?
I'm not sure.
It was definitely weird.
It was entertaining. It was entertaining.
Like when she gets her revenge and just leaves the guy there.
Yeah, the ending was what did I just watch?
Exactly. It's like, oh, you're evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my ball one is check out the movie.
There was everyone was evil in that movie.
On Netflix. Yeah, there was no redeeming quality. I normally like something redeeming to cheer for in the movie.
Yeah.
So, all right. What's your ball two?
Oh, I'm going to go with two drinks.
Okay, go with drinks.
Yeah. So the first
sweet
one,
tea and unsweet tea.
No, I got some whiskey here. Local distillery, Sagamore Spirits here in Baltimore, and their whiskey, their rye whiskey. I highly recommend Sagamore whiskey from right here in Baltimore.
All right. All right. My ball three is. Lately, I've really been enjoying the show Impractical Jokers. I don't know if you watched that show, and it's probably low mental, you don't have to be a smart person to watch it and laugh. It's one of these, turn your brain off and watch the show.
Yeah, I know it's one of the Zany Burt Rody's favorite shows.
Is it? Well, I am with the Zany Burt Rody.
He's obsessed with it.
And I have been really enjoying Impractical Jokers lately. It's been a nice rest to not think and come home after work and watch that.
Yeah, I think I've only watched it in Bert's house probably. But that's a show where if my wife is even in the house, I can't turn it on because she hates it that much.
Well, because it's dumb.
It's so dumb. Yeah.
Because she wants something like Jeopardy or something.
No, I'm not. I mean, she'll watch Real Housewives of New York or whatever, but she just thinks that humor is so dumb.
Okay.
But I think it's kind of funny. I got to be in the right mood for Impractical Jokers.
Right. So, all right.
Sticking with drinks, my ball 4. I think this is like when it's winter, I'm super into like black coffee. Like I need something strong and black in winter.
It's not
now it's spring. Anymore. The weather has turned. It's now today I think it was in the 40s, a little bit chilly, but it's been in like the 50s and 60s. And so I think the perfect spring drink for me is vanilla lattes. All right. This is a little bit posh, but vanilla lattes, you got the coffee, a little bit of sweetness in the vanilla.
From where?
I go with the vanilla latte.
What's your brand vanilla latte?
What do you mean? I get it from the coffee shop, the local coffee shop.
Okay, there you go.
I tried to get it from Dunkin' Donuts before.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It was
probably too sweet.
Well, it was too sweet and not hot. I don't know what they're doing over there.
Well, unless you ordered the cold.
No, I ordered the hot. It was like lukewarm.
Don't want to get sued or something.
Yeah, no, just the local little coffee shop here going with the. Well, I think it's harder because lattes involve the milk. It's a lot of milk in there, and you gotta steam the milk, so it's not like coming hot off the coffee pot.
Yeah.
So I like Dunkin' Donuts coffee, but I don't get the lattes from there.
All right.
I go to a specialty store for that.
That takes care of ball 4. We already said earlier today the state of the Orioles is up.
Yeah, with the Franco potential signing. I don't know what it's been on. It's been imminent for like the past 3 days. So what's going on with this thing?
So we're going to be like all those GameStop boys and yell, hold on to the Orioles. What are they? The GameStop nerds?
Yeah.
Over on Reddit.
Hold the line.
Hold the line, yeah. To the moon or whatever. That's where the Orioles are going.
To the moon with Franco. Hold the line with Franco.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'll be curious. See, also, Josh, if they sign him tomorrow, will he make will he get enough reps in to make the opening day roster?
Oh, yeah.
And if he doesn't, who's going to start third base?
Another 2 weeks, so he'll be fine.
He'll be fine?
He'll be fine.
All right. The hitters take nothing, right? It's the pitchers.
And it's not like these guys sit at home not doing anything.
Well,
he's been working out, I would think.
Chris Davis isn't sitting at home doing nothing?
Well, he's got to rest his back. He's on doctor's orders to lay down.
Doctor's orders. Did he roll in and give manager Hyde a doctor's note saying he can't play?
I don't know. I'm surprised there's been no talk yet about Major League Baseball players all getting the COVID shot.
Yeah, I saw a report someone got it on one sports team because they were in that category. Like if would Trey Mancini, a cancer survivor, would he be in a top tier category to get that?
You would think vaccine? So, but he's also like 25 or 26 or something. Yeah. You would think that. So they keep saying that everyone that wants it will be able to get it in May. So I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen like Major League Baseball come out and give it to all their players and try to spin it as like being role models or something,
Right. But even then, like if you can get it to all the major players in May, that's not bad. Just got to get through April.
No, they're saying they can give it to everyone in the U.S. through May.
Which would include baseball players.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, technically.
Aren't they everybody?
Yeah, no, it would be.
And you don't think baseball would be first in line once it's open to everybody?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised baseball isn't jumping the line.
Oh.
And saying, hey, in order to open up April 1st, we got to get this taken care of now.
Yeah, but the optics would just look so bad in that, right?
But not if you spin it as you're an example. And not if you spin it as a union. Every other union in the country is saying, hey, we need it for our workers. We're not opening up schools till we got it.
Yeah, but only the teacher union is strong enough to really do that. Other unions aren't strong enough. Uh-huh. Weak unions.
Right.
You got to toughen up. All right, let's get out of here.
All right, let's do it.
You can follow us on all your social media platforms. You can support the show on Patreon. Just go to section336.com.
Yep. Hit support 336 at the top, and you can support us through Patreon with a monthly donation or a one-time donation through PayPal is also there.
Oh, nice. You can follow the show on all the social media platforms. Yeah. Also, make sure you follow Birdland Sports, as we'll do a ton of post-game stuff.
Yeah, that's the home of Birdland Tonight. And I think, Matt, you've been on a few Birdland Tonight shows leading up to the season, and I think it's been all really good conversations.
Yep. all good stuff. And you can check out another one on Thursday.
Yep. Subscribe to that podcast as well. Give them 5 stars. Give us 5 stars in iTunes as well.
Yep. You can follow me at Section 336 on Twitter. You can follow Josh on Twitter
at Josh Taroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.